Okay. So, then they, my husband came in and he sat next to my head. And one of the side effects of the epidural is you get really shaky. And I was so shaky. I was shaking hardcore, and to the point where it was very annoying. And and they start cutting into me, and of course, you don't feel it. And then I started to feel. Oh, and then the doctor asked the anesthesiologist to give me a mask of gas of some sort, because my uterus wasn't contracting, so I was bleeding really bad. And so he gave me this gas, and that was the worst part of the C-section, because this gas, um, he told me it's gonna have a really weird smell, and it sure did. And then it was burning my eyes because it was coming out the side, and it made me extremely nauseous. I've never been that sick in my life, and that was the worst part. Was I was so sick. And then we heard him cry, and he was out, and my husband got to go over and see him. Um, they didn't lift him up to show me because he wasn't breathing right away. It only took a few pumps of that thing to make him start breathing, but he wasn't breathing right away, and I was bleeding really bad, so it was kind of an emergency. So, and I ended up getting sick during the C-section. I had a little suction thing, and I was, yeah, lovely. And by the time my husband brought him over, well, the nurse and my husband came over. My husband was kind of mad because they didn't let him hold Wyatt, but so they came over, but I was getting sick, and so I got to see my son for about 2 seconds, and they took him away, and I was and then they gave me something else, a shot of some sort, because of my nausea. It was affecting the surgery, so they gave me a shot, which totally made me loopy and out of it. So I was pretty bummed. I recognized that I didn't get to see my son very long. I couldn't remember what he looked like. I was freaking out. I was pretty sad. Admit. I don't know why. It brings me to tears to think about it. Sorry. So anyways, recovery. They brought me over, and they had me on the bed, and they wouldn't let me leave until I could move my legs. And they finally brought Wyatt over, so it was probably a good half an hour before I got to see him. So they finally brought him over, and I started nursing right away, and that was the best feeling ever. I think with a C-section, I felt a little disconnect from my son, and so the fact that he was able to latch no problem and nurse for 2 hours was the best feeling. So that was awesome. I don't know why I'm so emotional. Anyways, come on, Alicia, get it together. Okay, so funny thing is, I'll just give you guys a little TMI. Sometimes when you have an epidural, you go to the bathroom, and I had no idea that I did, and I was pretty embarrassed, but the nurses were so great. They just laughed it off with me. Finally able to move my legs. Went back to the room, and I was in the hospital for 3 days. I was in a lot of pain. They couldn't give me pain medicine through my IV because I was bleeding a lot. So they were trying to stop my bleeding, so they gave me, I don't remember what that stuff's called. They gave me something to cause my uterus to contract, and I was strictly breastfeeding in the hospital. The last night though, my milk supply was not doing so good, and he wouldn't stay latched, and it was a long night. He was a totally different baby from what we knew. The first few days he was great. He never cried. He just slept and ate, and then the last night he was crying, and then finally the nurses suggested that we give him formula, and I hesitantly agreed, but my baby was hungry, and I had to, and I don't regret it, and I'll get some people that disagree with me, but to each their own, and I hope you all understand, to each their own. Anyways, and my mom and sister came the next day. So he was born, I'll tell you this, February 19th at 4:02 in the afternoon, and he weighed 7 pounds 5 ounces and 18 and 3/4 inches. So he's a little shorty. So yeah, it was great. It was wonderful, and so that's my labor and delivery. I will give you my postpartum now. I should probably have waited until tomorrow, because tomorrow is my 6-week postpartum appointment.